We want to get back to this breaking news. The Carolina Panthers are parting ways with head coach Frank Reich just 11 games into his first season with the team.
Yeah, frustrations boiling over after yesterday's loss in Tennessee to the Titans to see the Panthers fall to 1-10 on the season.
Reich, who was originally with the Black and Blue during their inaugural season as a quarterback, was supposed to come in and change the direction of the franchise. Instead, it was anything but. Behind first overall pick Bryce Young, the offense ranks 29th out of 32 teams, with just 15 points per game. They're in the bottom end of all major stats offensively all across the league. The Panthers have not had a winning season since 2017 and have lost 10 or more games in the last 4.
And here's a tough graphic to look at. Things have been far from steady under the direction of team owner David Tepper. Ron Rivera and Matt Rule both fired. Frank Reich out with a 1-10 record here. Our Mike Lissette takes another look at Reich's tenure here.
At first and second glance, Frank Reich seemed like the perfect hire to be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
I like the color.
The first starting quarterback in team history was coming home, and he was hungry to make an impact.
Still looks good.
We're going to bring a brand of football and a style of football that this city can be proud of.
After getting settled, the former head coach of the Colts would hit the ground running. The staff he hired was universally applauded, and soon after trading wide receiver DJ Moore and 4 picks to the Bears, Carolina had the first selection in the upcoming NFL draft.
My goodness, the Carolina Panthers are doing big things.
Hey, Bryce.
But when it came time to make their pick, the Panthers decided to go small.
The Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young.
At 5'10", Young had plenty of detractors who felt he didn't have the size to make it in the next level. At least publicly, his new boss was not among them.
We watched the tape, and when you watch the tape, Bryce Young's the best player.
With a revamped roster led by their franchise quarterback, the Panthers claimed they had what it took to win their division. And despite going 0-3 in exhibition play, they still held true to that belief ahead of the start of the new season.
I feel like we've made good progress as far as cleaning up details of what it takes to play winning football.
Reich didn't know it then, but a lot more losing was on the way. Granted, his team was ravished by injuries, but the biggest issue was an offense that for one reason or another couldn't find the end zone.
The number of penalties that we had on offense was pathetic.
Sensing his team needed a spark at 0-6, Reich gave up play-calling duties to offensive coordinator Thomas Brown. That produced 1 win in 3 tries.
It's caught. That's a touchdown.
It was good, but not good enough. And after the team fell to 1-8 with a loss to the Bears, Reich reclaimed the responsibility of the decision-making.
You know, I understand what's going to be said and how it may appear to some. Nothing I can do about that.
The end was near. And ultimately, what was intended to be a full-circle hire for the franchise simply resulted in yet another U-turn, as Carolina is once again down a head coach.
And that was CSL's Mike Lissette. Speaking of CSL, we have got Carla Gebhardt, who is with our sports department. And Carla, this is obviously we didn't know when it was going to happen, but there was obviously anticipation that it could happen today or one day this week. Are you surprised that it happened before the end of the season?
I'm really not. I think I probably would have been more surprised had they waited to the end of the season. And of course, I just arrived here in Charlotte, just got off my airplane to the news that the Panthers did let him go. But yeah, I think you looked at, there were several reports that came out during the game that they were going to give him the rest of the season. When I saw those, I thought, yeah, with the offense that we saw yesterday, the continuing struggles, the development of Bryce Young, all of that is just getting worse on the offensive side. And I think honestly, I know we, don't want to see a lot of change like this with this team. Yet again, another season that feels kind of down the drain. But I think you have to do this now because you have to get ahead of the offseason. You got to get ahead of next season with all the changes coming. And you need to make those changes right now, especially if you know it's not going anywhere.
And Carla, what happens now? Obviously the players have heard this news. Who's talking to them and who will be leading? Because this season is not over yet.
Yeah, certainly not over. I mean, certainly they're going to probably look to some coordinators. Deuce Staley, I believe, is the assistant head coach right now. I'm not sure if they're going to give him the reins or if it's going to be an offensive coordinator. Of course, when this happened last season with Matt Rule, we saw Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator, get to kind of step in here. And so, yeah, it will be interesting to see how they kind of finish out the rest of the season and what they do. It will certainly be an evaluation time for really the rest of the roster because now the whole team has to figure out how to get back into the first round. So you think some more players are probably going to be on their way out. You don't know if really the front office is going to make even more changes. Certainly, possibly a general manager, possibly some of the coordinators and the coaching staff that Coach Reich brought in. We do anticipate a lot more changes coming before they get to the offseason.
Carla, stand by 1 second. We just got word from David Tepper, just released his announcement of the firing of Frank Reich, and he says, this is from David Tepper. I met with Coach Reich this morning, informed him that he will not continue as head coach of the Panthers. I want to thank Frank for his dedication, his service. We wish him well. Effective immediately, special teams coordinator Chris Tabor will serve as our interim head coach. Senior assistant Jim Caldwell will be as a special advisor to offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, who will take over play calling duties. This is a whirlwind. How do you try to stop the bleeding here in the next 24 to 48 hours and to get the team on board? Obviously, everyone wants a win, but it's more than just that.
Yeah, you mentioned stop the bleeding, but this team was unfortunately already in that state. They were already bleeding a lot. So I think this is kind of something that you have to do, make those cuts now. Interesting call with Chris Tabor. Of course, he's a very well-respected coach across the league that's going to take over as interim. And he has been here, right? He was here all of last season as well. So certainly an experienced coach as well. And they do have, a lot of experience on this coaching staff. So it will be interesting to see how all of these coaches come together. You've got 3 NFC South games ahead right on the schedule. I mean, I know this is a really tough blow for a lot of the players right now. But there is opportunity if they can somehow, get some more wins under their belt and go ahead and figure out how they're going to manage the offseason. That's what they have to do right now. And certainly winning usually cures all ailments. But this is a team that really has to start over from the beginning once again.
And if you're just joining us this morning, the Carolina Panthers have parted ways with head coach Frank Reich before the season ended 1-10. Carla, the stakes really have never been higher for David Tepper and the Panthers to get it right.
Yeah, I mean, they really haven't. And I think we saw multiple reports yesterday after the game that David Tepper was very frustrated after that loss. And certainly, I mean, he put the money behind all of these coaches, the coaching staff that Coach Frank Reich wanted to bring here to Carolina. This was supposed to be really a lot of excitement this season, right? I mean, you got Bryce Young, the #1 overall pick in last year's draft, this coaching staff that was supposed to have 70+ years of coaching experience, and none of that really came to fruition. And, I'm sure there's people out there that say that they needed more time. But I just don't think the offense was really going to go anywhere. You have to have direction. And this is an offensive league. And so, they're going to have to start over once again.
Carla, listen, thank you for the last minute, us grabbing you as you just got in from the airport. We appreciate your time. We know we're going to have more throughout the morning. Thanks, Carla.
And we are going to bring you that news conference. When it happens, we're going to take a quick break.